LeBron takes it to the rim and finishes with the left, and he's fouled.
Yo, I'm a Knick. What?
It's still, and now I'm not muted. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy CK 2K, along with my co-host, my homie, Mr. Brandon Warren, aka Wars World.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, everybody? What's going on? Just a whole group of losers in one stream together. That's what we all are tonight.
Yes.
But we got a lot of good stuff tonight. I'm really excited about today's show because the topics today are gonna be dope. Brandon is going to be facing some demons. For any of the OG coast to coast faithful, no, Brandon has had some opinions for a certain player we're going to talk about today, and we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about James Harden as well, Luka Doncic, and the new rules that could possibly pass in the NBA and what we think about them. I'm so excited to talk about that because I'm sure my opinions are very different from a lot of you guys. So I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say, what Brandon has to say, and it's gonna be a fun episode. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to today. But Brandon, how you doing, man?
Before we start.
Go ahead.
We had two 50-50s, right?
Yes. Well, no. Who
Three.
Oh God, are we at 7?
So we had Giannis, we had James Harden.
Hold on. Oh, I didn't add Giannis's.
Yeah, maybe
that's right. So yeah, we had Giannis and then James Harden.
And then we had that college player.
You said we couldn't count college players.
We
last
couldn't.
Year. You said that last year. You said that last year. I asked you. And you
Chat,
said
let
no.
me know.
You said that last year.
Chat, call me out right now. It's gonna be a rough night anyway, so y'all might as well call me out.
You said college does not count on cool. I'm pretty sure I'm spelling this right.
You probably aren't. It's okay.
Bro, I've mastered how to spell it. He had what, 50 what? 50? He didn't have 60.
The college kid?
No, Giannis.
Oh, I was worried about the college kid.
He doesn't count. We said NBA pro players.
I think he had.
So we're at 6.
Yeah.
We're at 6, not 5. I apologize. But we're at 60 on the 50-50 board. Unfortunately, as you guys can tell, still getting my office together. I don't have my soundboard hooked up yet, so I can't do. So that's going to be as close as you guys get to that. But yeah, we're at 6, 50-50. A little slow start today or this year, but we're getting there. We're getting there. If we can get by 10 before the new year, that's a thing because that's not even a milestone because we're trying to get 50 and 10 by December. That's not a good sign. But hey, whatever. What's good, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is episode 6 of season 2. We're finally getting back on track after my long move and after last week of my computer saying, "Hey, Chris, I haven't been plugged in for a long time. I have an update, you idiot," and then shut down and it spent an hour and a half updating after the whole stream shut down. But if you were here for that last week, glad you guys made it. We got the majority of the content out before it shut down anyway, so it was all good. But as always, we start this thing by shouting out to the people who get to these things before it even starts. Like I see Kerbo, who was in there talking, H_____, many underscores, Julie Yam, Nicholas, Forever Allah, Chris Tiller, the Neils Next Door, Jaden Dodd. Now, those were just a few that were in here well before the stream even started. And then when it was 7:30, when you guys were prompt and we were running late, Delano came through, Corrupt Killer, the Neils Next Door came back, Apple Fanboy. Who am I missing? BLT came through. 2K Mello, who I'm sure is very excited for today's show because that is the Mello guy. BKB, Rick Harrison, Itor Bazan. I hope I said your name right. I already said Kerbo. I said Rick already. DBGTX. That's the whole DBZ show in one. And yeah, that's pretty much everybody. I'm here lurking like always. Appreciate you stopping by, DBG. But yeah, man, like I said earlier, we have a fun show today. But let's get all the elephants out of the room. Brandon took a lot of L's today. I continued to take an L because that's what the Knicks do. But my football team, we won on Thanksgiving. I know you guys saw that. But yeah, basketball has not been very good for the Knicks. But Brandon, your winning streak's over, bro.
It's okay.
It really is. It's fine. Was that your third loss?
Our third loss. We've been expecting one of these losses to come sooner or later because we just had a lot of bad habits in the winning streak. So better to get them out right now and regroup
and see
whatnot.
how you guys come back.
December is gonna be a tough month for the Lakers. Real
Trust
tough.
me, everybody been telling us. Bleacher Report, Twitter. I saw your tweets. I'm like, okay, it must be a rough month coming from for the Lakers.
It's gonna be rough.
But look, man, you guys ended up getting. Did you guys get blown out, or you guys came back?
No, it was a blowout.
Yikes!
It was about. I think it was a 20-point game. Really,
it's all good. Anthony Davis is my favorite player of all time now. So
what?
Yeah. Oh man, when I heard that soundbite of him talking to KP, oh yeah, that's my favorite player of all time.
What he say to him?
Oh, you didn't see it? Oh, I just literally put it back on my story before we started the show. The and one play he had on KP. And he's like and one. And what did he say? Hold on, let me get the tweet.
He bumped him a little bit. I didn't know there was a
soundbite.
He
said the whole thing, and the mics caught. It was like a Carmelo Anthony rebound situation. Like it was heard. Oh, hold on, I like so. The chat's probably gonna hit me.
I got it.
There it is. There it is. BKB got it. BKB got it. He said. Yeah, it's him. You have to hear him though. You gotta go back to when it happens. He's like, and one little less boy.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So AD, my favorite player of all time now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
You gotta watch your head moment. You gotta watch your head moment. Oh yeah. See, I knew Melvin would remember. He said, "Brandon, hold the mellow L."
Yeah. It's gonna be a long stream.
I don't think anybody else remembers, so I think you're gonna be safe. But I'm gonna make sure it's known because we are starting off the show talking about the seven god himself. Stay mellow. All these teams, 30 teams, including my Knicks, passed up on this man in the offseason. We all thought, not we all, sorry. The naysayers thought, oh, he's washed. Oh, I wish I put a montage together of Brandon being such a hater. Oh, I wish there was a montage. Brandon was saying, I don't need him to come on my team and mess up what we possibly can have.
Still don't.
But yes, here he comes. The Portland Trailblazers, after years of wooing Melo and trying their best to get him, he finally said, you know what? I'll bless you guys with my presence. And here he is. Carmelo Anthony is back, and he is back in full effect. Now, mind you, it's still very early because he's only played 8 games. But regardless, I don't even think it was 8. I think it's like 6 games. But regardless.
He's getting close to that 10-game mark, where he got cut last season.
Hey, but the results are different. They winning now compared to the Rockets. But, again, Rockets, that's run by Daryl Morey, who I cannot stand. But
you don't like Daryl Morey anymore?
I can't stand Daryl Morey. The only good thing Daryl Morey did was trade for or pick up Tracy McGrady. Trade for Tracy McGrady. Yeah, that's the only good thing Daryl Morey's ever done.
Was he there?
Yeah, he was there.
Jeez.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
But yeah, where's my Melo stats? I'm on the 50. Who cares about the 50-50 list? I need my Melo stats. I need my Melo stats. Here we go.
It's 23, 18, 19, something like that.
It doesn't matter. We're not gonna get the brand. Don't skip ahead because you need to sit there and soak. Who's Daryl Morgan? Daryl Morey. You need to sit there and embrace your L. LaMelo back-to-back triple. Oh, we're gonna talk about Melo later on, but we're talking about the OG Melo right now. LaMelo, God damn it, Carmelo Anthony. Out here averaging 17.7 points per game, 6 boards, and 2.2 assists per game. And Brandon, he's not coming in here playing off the bench for 15, 13 minutes. I made a video thinking that maybe that's what you should do. No, the Portland Trailblazers watched my rebuild video, okay? They said CK's on to something. We're not only going to bring him in, we're going to start him because that's what I did in the video. The Knicks made the playoffs. So here it comes the Portland Trailblazers saying, Melo, You've been on the team for a day. You're going to start the power forward. He started off a little slow. He started slow, started sloppy, but he was trying. He tried to dunk. Didn't happen. But then 2 games later, Melo dunking all over everybody. But like Brandon tried to fast forward through the process. Yes, this week alone, Carmelo Anthony is averaging 22.3 points per game, 7.7 boards. And Brandon, you were one of the people saying he's not so efficient, right? So you wonder what his field goal percentage was in this week? Do you want me to tell you now, or do you want to just guess it, Brandon?
Let's guess 52.
You guessing 52?
Yeah.
How about go higher?
Why you sound like the Chicago Bulls announcer who's like, I want to go higher.
No, Brandon, this is serious. Go higher.
54.
Higher.
Nah, there ain't no way.
Keep going.
Now you just
Brandon, go higher.
I'm not going higher.
No. You need to understand his efficiency. Go higher.
56.
Higher, Brandon. He's shooting 60.6% this week alone. Here's why, Brandon. Oh, don't let me just talk without him playing in the background. Look at the greatness. 00, baby. The real 00. Take that, Inez Cantor. Nobody remembers you even wore 00 in Portland. I don't even remember you played in Portland. Regardless, Carmelo Anthony this week alone had 25 points, 8 boards. Brandon, he shot 50% that game. But here's the kicker. He played the Oklahoma City Thunder. He had 19 points, 4 boards, and shot 81.8%, Brandon. And I bet you're thinking, oh, well, he probably didn't shoot that much. Brandon, he was 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. And then the rest was the maths. Then he played the Chicago Bulls, which are the highlights that you're watching right now, chat, where he scored 23 points, 11 rebounds. Once again, 50% from the field. Now, Brandon, I ask you.
Wait, is that 2 games he played against Chicago?
He did. He played 2 games against Chicago. We're playing this game?
Sounds a lot like, he's just sounding like Carmelo instead of Mello. This is my best skip impression.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Get out.
That was a skip.
He was down there in the paint with Laurie Markkinen. All right, the young legs.
I've had some Bulls fans tell me that he's not there. He's not it.
I can't stand Laurie Markkinen. He's so overrated. I remember people used to be trying to compare him to Chris Porzingis, but we're gonna talk about KP later in this show. Brandon. 12 saying Agent 007. I love that. I love it. Rick Harrison out of left field. Look at the top of Brandon's head. It's endless. Thanks, Rick. Look, Delano out here spitting the facts. Let's talk about the 00. Yes. Okay, but Brandon, I ask you, Mr. Laker, you still wouldn't have him on your team?
No.
Oh God, you have to say that. So I'm proud of you. You got to double down. But I need you to. I need. No. I need some sauce with this sandwich. BLT, Mellow Nice, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, BLT is a Laker fan. Well, I'm not. That doesn't mean he say he want him on his team, but that's coming from another Laker fan. But go ahead, Brandon. Why would you not have Melo coming off your bench? Because here's the thing: Melo didn't come in here asking to start. That was all Terry Stotts. All Melo asked for was to just talk to him. Don't do what Mike D'Antoni did. Don't do what Daryl Morey did. Talk to him. If I'm coming off the bench, let me know. Am I only playing 15 minutes tonight? Let me know. Don't just pull it on me. And here we go. Terry Stotts said, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I have no right. I'm like any answer I give y'all is
you gonna sound like a fool.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, I think it would just take away minutes from Kuz, and I think the Lakers brass is expecting a lot of things out of Kuzma. So
Kuzma can't play the 3?
Kuzma, no, he cannot.
Is that bad, huh?
I do
bad for your third best player?
Yes, very bad. I don't want him playing. Man can't guard paper. Okay. So it's bad to have 2 people that can't guard paper.
So oh my goodness. I appreciate you keeping the same energy though. I respect it. You're not coming in here wavering, flip flopping. You keeping the same energy. Stupid, but respected. Can't guard paper. You know who can't guard paper? Kevin Knox. That's my guy. But it's the same thing. Just put him at the 4. I digress. We're talking about Carmelo 007 Anthony. So
I'm sure I've seen everybody be happy for him. Yeah, I see him, and I'm cool. That's everybody's thing. It's just the only time I was really on the Melo hype train was when he was in Denver.
I knew you were gonna say that because that's what any Laker West Coast fan person says.
Well, even before he got to the Western Conference Finals, like I was like, I don't want to play against Carmelo and Denver and company. Even when AI was there, Chauncey, name a point guard that he was playing with, I just didn't want to see Carmelo because that was a bigger Kobe in a sense, where you could just.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Put it on the headline. He called him a bigger Kobe, but yet doesn't want him on the Lakers. Ladies and gentlemen, if I had a soundboard, I would play a sound effect for Brandon right there. That's what the media does right there, by the way. Obviously, that's two different eras, but because he said the sentence, then that's the headline. That's a note for my kids in the chat that want to be in sports writing. Anyways, I hear you. All jokes aside, I personally, and BLT said it there, he said I'd take Melo over Quinn Cook or Troy Daniels. Yeah, personally, I was rooting for him to go to the Lakers because I felt like this would have been what he would have been doing on the Lakers because he would have been very comfortable on that team with those guys he's playing with, just like how he's comfortable with these guys because these are the guys he works out with every summer. He always works out with CJ. He's always working out with Dame every summer. So now it's just the same atmosphere, and I feel like that's what it would have been like with the Lakers. Yeah, he probably would have been playing less minutes, but I feel like in like a Dwight Howard sense, he would have been fine with that as long as, like I said, there was communication and, he was doing his thing, he was producing, which he's been doing very well. And it just so happens Terry Stotts is like, yo, we ain't got a dominant forward in either the small forward or the power forward, so go ahead and start and do what you got to do, Melo. And Melo said, Terry, I could shoot 60% in a whole week. And then he did it. 81.8%, Brandon, against Oklahoma City Thunder. They got a lot of post players, Brandon.
Who? OKC?
Yes.
I thought they had a lot of guards, but all right.
Nerlens Noel, Steven Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. They got a lot of guys. That's all they got. That's all the post people I could think about on that team. Edgar saying he wanted him in Philly. Philly was one of the places I wanted him to. I was rooting for the Lakers. I was rooting for Philly.
Philly should go after JR. Earl. Go get you Earl. Call it a day.
I don't know. They need a scorer, though.
They need a shooter. Shamit worked just
Both.
Fine for them.
They need a shooter and a scorer because they got no points production from us. I don't know.
Wilson Chandler.
He's net. He's in Brooklyn. Suspended.
Should have hung on to him. Should have hung on to him.
D saying I'm happy for Melo. 12 said Nurkic, Whiteside, Melo, McCollum, and Lillard. That's a serious lineup. Big facts. That is a nice lineup.
Whiteside ain't gonna last long.
I was gonna say I'd rather have Whiteside. Well, you don't think he's gonna last long?
Mm-mm.
I'm not putting Whiteside and Nurkic here. I just realized what you said. No. Put Whiteside at the 5, but I mean Nurkic is probably gonna be more favorable. So yeah, Nurkic at the 5. I just like Whiteside's defense. I feel like in this atmosphere we're gonna see a resurgence of the Whiteside we remember if he stays healthy, because he's in a place where he's happy. He's with other veterans. Whiteside's another one that goes and works out in the Black Ops gym with these guys. So the chemistry is there with that team.
Mm-hmm.
But they got a lot of climbing to do before we can talk about playoffs or anything like that. Brandon, you don't have any final thoughts about Carmelo Anthony before we move on. You don't want to say anything. You don't want to rebut anything you said in the past. You don't want to take back anything you said in the past. You're doubling down. You're sticking with it.
By what I said all this time in the entirety of our coast to coast show.
That he's washed.
Sticking by what I said. No, I'm not gonna say he's washed. It's just don't want him on my team. When I say he's washed, I was primarily joking. I wasn't serious about that. I just didn't want him on my team. Is that fair?
No, it's not.
I just didn't want him on my team. I didn't believe when he came on ESPN and saying, this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. But like, part of me just thought that Melo never quite got it in a sense of this is where you're at in your career. This is where, this is what at the end of your career, most athletes do. And I just didn't think he quite got it in that sense. But he's proven me wrong. Hopefully he can do that for a whole season.
Well, that's the thing. He's been playing better the more healthy the team gets. And to me, that's the biggest positive. Because when he first got there, he's probably rusty. He looked good, though. He was taking mellow shots. It's just, he was playing at NBA speed. but he looked good. He wasn't forcing anything. He wasn't trying to change the system to play like him. And I love that about him, even though he was off in the first few games. But then now you're seeing Dame come back from the back spasms. Whiteside was coming back from his injury. So it's just they're becoming more healthy, and you can see he's fitting in with the system more. So I love it. I've always been a Dame fan, but I'm still not crazy about the Dame CJ experiment. But I like it a little bit more with this spacing that they could possibly have with Dame, CJ, and Melo. So I'll be paying attention a little bit more. Rodney Hood, he's on and off, still very topsy-turvy for me, but I feel like he can fit with them as well.
There's a reason why Portland wouldn't got him.
Exactly, because Rodney Hood is not he's not as reliable. But when you have Melo at the 4, I think Rodney Hood's a little bit safer at the 3 now. I like it. Melvin's a big Melo fan. He says I hope Portland wins the chip. And he also said Lord. Brandon equals a clown. Ty, what's good, bro? JR to Miami, low key fit, good fit. Miami needs to do absolutely nothing with that team. Leave it alone and keep going with what they got. Miami's a well-oiled machine right now. Knicks would be better with Carmelo Anthony. I 100% give all the money we give Julius Randle, give it to Carmelo Anthony. No cap. Melo is in his proper role as a three years
third option.
Third option. Oh, good call. Because I'm seeing 3-year option. Yeah. And he's actually playing the 4, and that's the thing. Yeah, 100%. And he's playing the 4, not the 3. So both of those together equals a great recipe. Thoughts on LeBron not speaking a word on Melo getting blackballed? Okay. All right. Moving on. This needs to be said. Carmelo Anthony, still greatness. All right. Moving on to the next one. James Harden. James Harden has been playing very, very good as well. We saw his 60-point game yesterday. Yes, Saturday. Yes, because they were in those city jerseys. I'm looking at the highlight, and there's a dude wearing a Syracuse 15 in Portland.
What?
Respect. I respect it. Sorry. Moving on. We're on James Harden. James Harden right now, bro, is averaging. How many points do you think James Harden's averaging?
This week?
Right now, this season.
35.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. 38.
Yes. 38.9 points per game for the season. Not this week. For the season. And he's also, we've been hearing the bad nights about him, going 1 for 16 and those kind of crazy nights from the 3-point line. But he's shooting a solid 44.6% from the field with 38.9 points per game. Yeah. That's efficient. I'm not a crazy James Harden fan, but I do respect his game to an extent. There's still a lot of the manipulations that he does that I still can't co-sign. But at the same time, his scoring abilities, he's James Harden. Sorry,
that's another game I'm not looking forward to as a Laker fan.
You got Rockets coming up?
I'm sure in December. December is literally we taking all the top teams. Yeah.
You got Giannis coming in?
I have to double check on the schedule.
So you just know it's rough. Yeah, I got you.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, James Harden out there playing efficient. Yeah, so 38.9 points per game, 5.9 boards, 7.8 assists. I expected those to go down a smudge because you got Russell Westbrook on your team who's averaging a triple-double doing his thing, which is fine because, in my opinion, I feel like they've been cohesive. Right now, the Rockets are sitting at 5th place, but they're tied with 4 through 3 with a 13-6 record. But Brandon, you think there's any way that James Harden can possibly average 40 points per game?
I don't see why he can't.
Right.
With the way that stuff is officiated. I know you're a Knicks fan. You completely understand. Yeah, okay. All right. But, yeah, I can see it happening. And
he's got
what frustrates me the most is people keep on saying he's better than Kobe.
Man, those conversations are heating up, boy.
Whoo, and I'd be getting just as mad with I'm just getting heated thinking about it right now because it's okay. All right. This is a new fad. All right.
I will say this. I do invite the conversation of getting points, like a score, like the scorer's part. I'll invite that conversation.
Fine.
Not saying better, but I invite the conversation of comparing him to Kobe as far as being a scorer. Sure. But when you're talking about as a player saying that James Harden is up there with Kobe or is better than Kobe, I'm not there yet. Because Kobe, we love to forget about it, and I'm not even a Laker fan, and I have respect for him on this level. He was a good defender too. We forget that Kobe Bryant could play both sides of the court. Kobe Bryant had many ways to score. James Harden does too, but I've yet to see James Harden in a post. I've yet to see, outside of the manipulations of the game. You know what I'm saying? Just it's hard for me to get on that level and say that he's better than Kobe Bryant. But as far as getting to the cup, getting your points, I'll invite that conversation. As far as comparing him to Kobe, that's as far as I'll go.
Yep, I agree 100%.
Yeah,
but I just let the internet be the internet, right?
That's what you gotta do. Yeah, you just gotta let the internet take it. Trust me, anybody knows that better than anybody else is a Knicks fan. So, what's your thoughts on him being an MVP favorite?
Yeah, I think he's top. I would say he's top 3.
Yeah,
or no, top 5. Because I still think Giannis is playing out of his mind, considering he didn't have Chris Middleton for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Luka is playing definitely out of his mind.
Out of his mind, boy.
LeBron, just because he's led our team to the best record in the NBA so far. It's tough. That top 3 is hard to crack right now. I'm sure in a couple of weeks or so that'll adjust itself.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'd even put LeBron up there too. LeBron's probably, I would say because I have him at number 1 right now. I hate it, but I real recognizing real. They have the best. They have the best record in the league, and I was very pleased to hear that he played the second game of a back-to-back. That was surprising to me. Look at LeBron. Right, you guys are on a back-to-back because you played yesterday and today, correct?
Played Friday.
Oh, was it yesterday?
It was Friday,
well,
and then
can't have that one, LeBron.
Today.
I take it back, LeBron. What do you think about the Russell Westbrook and James Harden experiment working? Because both of their numbers look the same from when they were apart. Now that they're together, I'll be honest, I've yet to watch a full Rockets game yet. But as far as them, the continuity from the highlights I've seen and the fact that they're both able to still get the stats that they've got by themselves together, to me it looks like it's going well. But what's your opinion on that experiment of the Russell Westbrook James Harden?
It just took some time.
Yeah,
more so.
as it should. I think it's still forming now. I don't think it's fully there yet.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Russell is. I know he was already deferring the last couple of seasons with Paul George.
Right.
Every now and then he would still go back to being Russell Westbrook. I'm going to take every single shot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad to see that he's getting it. I wish he did it sooner, when he had, a certain 7-foot giant that could get any shot he wanted. But it is what it is, and I'm happy he's figuring it out. He's figured out his place. He's figured out his pace on this team, and they're going to be that team that everybody, or at least everybody thought they would be a top 3 NBA people in the West.
I feel like people didn't know how to feel about the Rockets coming into this season because people were iffy about the combination of them too. But at the same time, it's like everyone knew at the back of their head, like, if it works, they're going to be scary.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, get Mike D'Antoni a point guard and let him do his thing. Yeah, and now he's got 2 of them.
Yeah, big facts. I'm watching this right now too. Just I'm co-signing it, but the thing is, it's still early. Haven't quite met the 25 games yet. But like you said, they are finally. I think they're now finally on that up climb, the climb of finding that ultimate cohesion between the two of them together on the Rockets together. Mm-hmm. But look, if James Harden's still able to get these 60-point games, 50-point games and stuff, and Russell Westbrook's over there getting his triple-double or double-double while that's happening, like, that's scary. like, because you can say it, it's so easy to game plan it and talk about it and put in film or watch film and say, all right, we're gonna shut these two down and let the rest of them beat us. But then when you play them and it's Russell Westbrook and James Harden, it doesn't quite go that way more times than not. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think like you said, I think they have all the potential to be scary, but we'll see. Right now, like I said, they're sitting at 5th, but that could easily they're Clippers.
They were two. Like
Mavericks.
5 games ago or so, they were like right behind us in the second place.
But that's what I was gonna say. They're literally a Mavericks loss, a Clippers loss away from going right back to 3rd. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let me go. Sorry, Chad. Let me go back to you guys real quick before we move on to the next thing. Saw Click. What's good, Saw? Talk about the Raptors. I don't really have much to say about the Raptors. I can mention the Raptors later. I know you're a Raptors fan. Appreciate you coming through.
Siakam.
Love Siakam. CK got a baby cut. I don't know what that means. CK hairline looking tight. Appreciate you. Harden could be the greatest offensive player. When it's said and done, I will openly take that conversation for sure. Not there yet though. The greatest offensive player in the regular season. Big facts, Edgar. Big facts.
Huge.
DOWNLAOD not in my top 3 for MVP. I have Giannis, Luka, and LeBron. That's fair. I'm not sure if it's in that order, but that's fair. BLT said that LeBron has played a back-to-back this season. Okay, respect. Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I respect it. If it's true, you guys would know because you guys watch the games. Is Brandon drunk? And then MH doubled down by saying, Rick, he's always drunk. Y'all stupid.
They're going in on me today.
Well, today's not your episode, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's not.
You knew it was coming because it's funny because I've been looking out for you on Twitter and you've been so quiet. Like, I know you're seeing everything because Melo has been trending. People, everybody from Bleacher Report to all the sites I know you follow, and you've been so quiet when it came to Carmelo Anthony. I'm like, no, he knows. He's very aware, and he is staying away. So I'm like, no.
that Chicago game when they played at Chicago,
yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I don't want to be on Twitter today. I don't want to do it. I don't want to entertain it. I was talking to Cap, Edgar Allan Fro.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, they were playing against the worst defense in the whole entire league. And then he did it again. I was like, well, can't say it there. Like, so it's
funny, man. It is funny. Hey, yo, Pal, what's good, bro? Yo, CK, I'm going to have to change my prediction from 20-plus wins to 13 wins. And you guys laughed at me. It is in filmed form. I didn't think it was going to be this abrupt, but y'all laughed at me when I said I'd be happy with us at least getting over 20 wins. And there goes my Knicks poster. You can't even say it fell. Oh, man, Pal, I'm not a happy boy when it comes to the Knicks, but outside of that, everything's fine. 2K Mello, Harden over Bron when it comes to MVP. No way, I don't care. I can't co-sign that one. Sorry, bro.
Nada.
He ain't been quiet in person about Melo, LOL, coming from BLT. Melo on that Dwight Howard contract. He is definitely on that Dwight Howard contract. Y'all could have had both. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I just glad that I was going to say number 7, that 007 is back in the league. I'm just glad about that. Edgar said this is true. He was and still currently is waiting for the Melo downfall. Brandon, yo, if you don't get out of here. Negative Nancy over here waiting, just plotting, just like in the shadows. It'll come.
when that one bad, and watch, he'll just have one really, really bad, like, I'm talking 1 for 14 shooting, 8 points, 2 boards, like Brandon 3 or 4 turnovers. Loud. Oh, I'm gonna be talking out my ass, boy. I'll be like, this is what y'all signed up for. This is what you wanted.
Yeah, I can't with you, bro. I'm buzzing, man. That happened. It was a good day. Knicks won that game too against the Mavs, and then he gets signed the same. Oh, it was good times. Good times. Speaking of the Mavericks, the Lakers played the Mavericks today. Got a little
mollywopped.
You said it, not I. They did. They got beat, but it's okay. When you have only 2 losses and then you add on to that and only have 3 losses, you're literally 1 less loss than the amount of wins my team has. So I have nothing to say about that. Outside of that, the main factor to that game is not the 7'3" hornless unicorn that plays for that team. It is Luka Doncic, who has been out here just triple double machine. Tonight only had a double with 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 10 assists. But Luka has been playing out of his mind this season. Now, mind you, still hasn't hit the coast to coast 25 yet. Okay, but still, regardless, he has the Mavericks, who a lot of folks who thought that the Mavericks would be, in that 9, almost playoffs, not quite playoffs yet, race. They're up there hanging out with the Rockets and the Lakers and all them, the Clippers and everything like that. They're hanging out with them and they're doing a good job. And tonight they showed that they can hang out. They put a little hurting on the Lakers, even though Lakers had a nice little start over here. But Brandon, man, we forget. Sometimes I forget. Luka Doncic, this is his second year in the NBA. Technically,
the way he plays is just. He looked like a veteran that's been playing the last 10 years.
But he is a veteran. Let's be real. He is a veteran. He's played professional basketball. And this is why, I don't mean to change subjects a little bit, but this is why I'm so, outside of the fact that I root for Lonzo and Melo, but this is the other reason why I'm so high on LaMelo Ball in the draft, because it is a completely different thing. Now, mind you, Doncic played in the Euro League, so his talent was like damn near NBA adjacent. But the fact of the matter is, LaMelo is still playing against and being guarded by NBA players. His first triple-double was against a dude that was on the Lakers last year. The fact of the matter is that when you play against men and you're able to have that confidence to do these things against guys that at one time played the NBA or have aspirations to be in the NBA just like you, and you're playing you're having those kind of performances in front of crowds that are as big as some of these NBA stadiums, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that holds so much more weight than a college game against a dude that was, the best player in his small little city in Indiana playing for a D1 college that no one's ever heard of. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it just holds a bigger weight. So that's why I have such a high praise with LaMelo Ball, because I'm not saying he's going to be Luka Doncic, but he's going to come into the league a little bit more confident than some of these other guys because he's played against men and he's probably going to be accustomed to the speed of the game. Now, as I say that, going back to Luka Doncic, we're here talking about him possibly being an MVP, and this is his second season in the league. Like, he hasn't even been an All-Star. He was almost an All-Star last year in his rookie year, but he's not even he wasn't even an All-Star yet. Like,
that's one of the biggest snubs. I think him and Lou Williams last year. Was it Lou Williams that got snubbed? Or
you mean not last year, but yeah, there was a year where Lou Williams should have got. Was it last year? Actually, it was last year where Lou Williams should have made it. Yeah, it was last year because he was averaging 20-something, 22 or 23 off the bench. Yeah.
And then it had still had the Clippers in playoffs. Yeah, so I'm happy to see Luka playing well. It sucks that it was against our Lakers today, but it is what it is. Great players make great plays, and he played awesome. And I don't know. He's one of those players where you just don't know what his ceiling is.
Yeah.
Just because he's doing all these veteran plays, mind you, he's been playing overseas for umpteen years now, and he was playing what was the name of it? Euro League.
Yeah, he was on. Was it Real Madrid? He was on oh dear God, was it Real Madrid? Somebody correct me. I think he was playing for. It's a known team. It was somebody fact check me, and I'm sure they'll have the answer. But yeah, it was in the Euro League. He was balling out there.
And when he came over here, not that I think that stigma was still kind of hanging out with Euro players, just because we had so many busts. What's that dude that played for the Wizards for a little bit? Vesely.
Oh God, Jan Vesely. Yeah. I remember him.
Andre
Barcelona.
Barriani.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Barcelona. So it was still kind of hanging out that Euro players just can't play in the NBA league. And then you had your KP come out. You had KP really kind of paved the way, if we're going to be honest. And then Luka came in.
Are we gonna say KP? I would say Dirk. Like, we got to go all the way back.
Are you going all? Well, Dirk took time to develop, though.
Okay,
Dirk,
if you're okay.
I'm talking
You're
about
right.
instant stardom.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
I can't think of anybody else that was like that instant European. Yeah,
I don't know if he was on the same level, but you're right, because I remember that 2-week period, because I was back when I was on Xbox 2 and we were talking all the time, and we were here talking about Jahlil Okafor, D'Angelo Russell, that Karl Anthony Towns. That's all we were talking about. And then we got that random message of this Kristaps Porzingis guy who we were all ready to call Darko Milicic, and we had no idea who this guy was. And then all of a sudden, went fourth to us. And then, his first year looked like a stud. His first few years looked like a stud. Now, to talk about him quickly, because I know I'm not even looking at my chat. I know my chat is roasting him right now, Kristaps Porzingis.
Yep.
I'm not, as much as I meme and joke, talking about the Anthony Davis thing and laughing at him having bad games and stuff like that. Taking him off my petty Knicks hat and putting my basketball hat on. Let's be real. He's coming back from a major knee injury as a 7'3" player who plays like a guard. So I expect his game to be rusty for a longer time than most. Now, if he was a guard coming back and he's at that level, maybe I wouldn't give him as much as of a leash. But he's 7'3". He plays like a guard. So to get back to doing a lot of the stuff that he used to do and the things that made him who a lot of people think he was going to be, it's going to take some time before he gets there. I would say, even probably the whole season before he even at an all-star level, in my opinion. But until he gets to that point, I am enjoying, the little bit of lackadaisical play from KP. But at the same time, I'm not naive and I'm not stupid just because I'm petty or upset. But
I see people in the chat talking about Powell.
That was the one I was thinking about. Kukoc.
Powell.
Don't forget Kukoc, because he played good from the jump too.
Yeah, Powell was. No disrespect, Powell was a really good player. I still wish Powell would come back and finish his career somehow on like a 1-day contract or something with the Lakers.
No, you're going back to Portland and coaching, bro.
Yeah. But anyways, those players don't have that superstar label like they did with KP and Luka. I'll Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, because you are my closest Knicks fan that I have. And when you game one or like within the first 10 games, you guys could not stop talking about KP did this, KP did that, KP was doing this, blah, 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 blah. He dunked on this, he dunked on somebody else, blah, blah, blah,
his rookie season?
His rookie season.
Oh, I wasn't one of them. That wasn't me. I was there the year his knee got hurt. I was excited about him, but I was also, and I used to get clowned for this too, and this is when I used to talk to John Jennings more. I was team trade KP, because I was always scared of what happened would happen. And when I told John that, he thought I was crazy. But I didn't like how he played at 7'3", and I thought that he was going to have injury problems, more like a Yao Ming kind of thing, because of the weight on the legs. So I at least I could, for myself, I didn't believe until that his third year when he started playing MVP level, and that's when I was like, all right, I'm all in. I bought the jersey and everything. I'm like, yeah, KP's the one. So early on, no, I was like, this could be cool, but I was very skeptical. And then the moment I give in, he does what he tears his ACL. but yeah, to make your point, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because if it wasn't me, it was definitely everyone. Bleacher Report, everything. The Knicks got this, the unicorn this. We heard Kevin Durant saying this, LeBron saying this. So yes, to make your point, yeah, it was well talked about every time he did a thing, especially from New York.
Yeah, and that's like. That's where I stand my argument, basically. That I get it that Powell and then paved the way, but at the same time, you still got to make your own status as a player. You got to still make your own hype as a player. And I think KP and Luka, especially Luka, has seized the opportunity. They traded
their first round pick from just the year before to make sure that this is just a Luka team. Like, to me, that's a power move, man. That's a power move. And now we're here wreaking the whatever.
It'll all be over soon.
Speaking of Knicks players, I don't believe in. Anyways, all right. So let me read the chat real quick before we move on. I miss KP with all this KP talk. Yeah, every now and then. I don't know. When I just think about RJ Barrett, I'm like, yeah, we're okay. Let me go back.
It's an easy way of forgetting.
Yeah, I'm very happy with RJ Barrett. Luka English is good. Okay. CK2K should Nick sign Bol. He's signed. He's a Denver Nugget. We can't do anything about that. Because what's going to happen with Bol is he's going to play next year. He's going to play well, and then Bol's not going anywhere.
Or he's going to be a Michael Porter Jr. and just...
Yeah, what happened? I'm just going to believe that they're just a deep team, and he's just not. Because he played for 2 games, and then I never heard of him since. Did he just not play well? I do not like the Denver Nuggets. I'm sorry. Jamal Murray ruined that team for me. I cannot watch them. And y'all know I'm not a big Jokic fan either in the first place. So I just don't watch
How come you don't like Jokic?
I feel he's overhyped. He's an overweight dude that, yeah, he has a good eye. He's very talented. But at the same time, I just feel like with the way that people talk about him, I don't know, man. We go back to, we've had so many big men that have great vision like he does. I don't know.
NBA's got to have that one good white player, man.
I guess
he's probably arguably the best.
Okay.
Who else you
I'm not fighting it. I know he's a good player. I'm just not a fan. I just don't believe. I'm not there. I said this last year, probably at this same time, like episode 6 or 7, and I got killed for that too. Anyways, Porzingis getting carried by Luka. I know he coming back from surgery, but damn. Shout out to the Knicks for giving the Sixers a competitive 2 game. What? A competitive 2 games. Oh yeah, appreciate. Yeah, it was dope. But good old Knicks. We don't know what a fourth quarter is. We play 3 good quarters and we think it's hockey. And we think it's game over. Shout out to Philly. Sorry, Edgar. Yeah, blah blah blah. Moving on. Luka is that one little cousin you thought wouldn't be ish and became ish. I see what you're saying. Warriors gonna get LaMelo. High level tanking on. No, the Warriors. They're gonna get James Wiseman. I'm already booking it. The Warriors gonna get James Wiseman, and then it's gonna be a Tim Duncan effect all over again. This championship level team are just going to get another young, great talent, and with D'Angelo Russell and all, because a lot of people think I don't think they're going to trade D'Angelo Russell. I think they're going to keep all those guys they got, get a good first round pick, whether it be Russell, whether it be that's the thing. I don't know who else it could be though, because everyone else for point guards. They don't need any more point guards or guards at that.
Maybe a 3. Is there going to be a good wing?
Not in that top 5, because they're going to be in the top 5. Like the wings, not in the top 5.
Because I'm thinking of what's that dude that plays in North Carolina?
Cole. He's a point guard though.
Cole, yeah. I saw a couple of his games and
I like Cole. I would take Melo over him.
Yeah, I still would too. It's just I remember calling him out and be like, I don't see anything impressive, and then I watched a couple of his games, the North Carolina games. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah. No. Cole is cold. I would take him in a heartbeat, but the question I always get asked is him or LaMelo. I say give me the 6'7", possibly 6'8" point guard that can do damn near everything. Yes, I get his defense. People are going to be talking about my defense. But the thing is, to me, the way he plays defense, when he actually plays defense, it reminds me of Zoe, where he has that shifty, like, he can get to each position fast. I'll take that. Like, there's potential there, so I'll take that. And also, I'm going to be real with you guys. Cole Anthony ain't the greatest man-to-man defender. He's a good team defender, but he's not a great man-to-man defender. Anyways. Melo's greater than Anthony. I would take Anthony Edwards too. We're not talking about draft picks. Way too early. We haven't even gotten to 25 games. I know the Knicks suck, but I don't want to have this conversation yet. It's too depressing. Too damn depressing. Anyways, the News Network got stuck on a call at work. Damn, bro. Well, I'm glad you're back. Thoughts on Anthony Edwards, 37 points. Anthony Edwards is a monster. He is a monster. I just hope that he goes to a team that fits, whether it's us or I just don't want him to I don't want him to have Bradley Beal syndrome. That's all I want. I just don't want him to go to a team where he's playing great on where he's going to get empty minutes or empty points and stuff. That's all
Empty
I don't want.
stats,
Yeah, that's all I don't want from him. But yeah, he's a monster. All right, moving on. Yes. Now this is the subject I'm excited for. A lot of people are very scared of the changes that could possibly happen in the NBA. I'm very excited to talk to you about this because I want to know what your opinions are. We did briefly talk about this last year on Coast to Coast when it was first announced that it could possibly happen. You weren't for it, but you also weren't quite against it yet. We had a lot of people in the chat that were against it. We still have a lot of people today on Twitter and everything that are they're not with it. They don't want the change. They don't like the change. People thinking that, the mid-season tournament would be. I'm sorry. For those who don't know, I'm talking about the Adam Silver proposals. There are 3 separate proposals that are on the table. They're going to discuss that. It's up to the owners to all agree on if we do anything, if there's going to be any changes, and if so, what changes are made, and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go over the 3 proposals here in a second. And I want to hear what Brandon has to say. And, of course, chat, I would love to hear what you guys have to say as well. But I'm excited about it. I'm going to just be real. I like all the proposals. I don't care which. No, I do care what. I do have preferences. But let me read them out to you guys so you guys know exactly what's going on. And I'll do my best at explaining them. I feel like I got a good hold of them because I've been watching everything that Adrian Wojnarowski had to say about it because he had great detail on it. I've listened to his podcast on it. I read the article, but let me read it out word for word here for you. But Brandon, while I look that article up so I have the exact details, what are your thoughts on a possible mid-season tournament or a possible playoff play-in tournament?
I still need to see like the full format. I can hear you talk about it. I'm like, oh, that seems cool, but I need to visually see it. If that makes any sense. Like I need to see.
So you need for it to go
format
through first before.
I mean, I didn't. No, don't take my words out of my.
I'm messing with you.
But like, if I can see it in person on paper, or like exactly this is what's gonna happen. If this team has X, Y, and Z, they get to play against this team that has X, Y, and Z, and they duke it off for this quote unquote tournament. Blah 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 blah. I hear it from your end. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. That sounds different. That sounds this, and that, and that. And then when it shows up, when the NBA actually proposes it and be like, this is a thing now, I'm gonna be like, oh, Chris sounds like an idiot now because that's not what it is at all. You know, so I think I need to hear or see more details on it.
Yeah, that's why I want to pull it up exactly so I'm not butchering it. But for the most part, yeah, there are 3 proposals. The first one would be shortening the season to 78 games. But there would be a mid-season tournament, like around this time. It said after Thanksgiving, around that time until the end of December, and it would be a not sudden death, but a 1-game tournament. So it's like, let's say Knicks Lakers in round 1. Whoever wins that game moves on. The other team's out.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, so it would literally, it's just a mid-season tournament to just crown another type of champion outside of just the NBA Finals. Now, yeah, it won't have the amount of level to an NBA Finals, but it's still an acquired championship that goes onto your team's records, that the extra incentives for the players and coaches and all that stuff as you'd expect. And then on top of that, there's no limit to a West playing West or an East playing East kind of situation, because it's not like it's a series. It's just like the regular season, but the game has more meaning to it. So it'd be between the end of right after Thanksgiving till, let's say, the beginning of January. And just like now, how we have 82 games and there's games already scheduled, the only difference is in that window, these games are part of the tournament. So obviously you lose, you're out of the tournament, but you're going to continue to play your games regardless. But you're just not, your games don't go towards the tournament. And then those things will turn around and blah, 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 blah. They didn't really specify, as I'm looking at here, they didn't really specify as far as how you keep going and play the teams according to who's winning and stuff like that. That's my only question, because it's like, when you lose, you still have your games to be played for the schedule, but then is there like a backup schedule that happens after you lose? You know what I'm saying? So that part hasn't been specified. Like, I get the concept, which is cool, but I just want to know the specifications for when you lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, then what happens? Then is there like another schedule that gets flipped and you continue to play those games while they're doing the tournament?
Like, if you build out the schedule, they build out the schedule in the off season, and then you have this tournament on top of it. What if the team that you're supposed to be, say you lose, you're out of the tournament, the next team you're scheduled to play against is in this tournament?
Yeah.
Is that game canceled? Are you going to play them on another game?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm a little confused, because then it's like maybe you still play the game, but this game isn't, because maybe what it is like each weekend would be according to the tournament. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be like that first weekend, like that Black Friday weekend, like those games would be the round one. So like everybody will be matched up, and then the winners of that round one then go on to round two the following weekend. And then the losers of that tournament would then play whoever's next on the schedule that are not in that tournament and just continue with their regular season. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no specifications on that. That's just one idea I was thinking. Like, maybe that's how it would be. But yeah, I don't know how exactly that part would work. But the point of the matter is, it would be, it would be another way of us seeing nationally televised NBA Finals atmosphere, because obviously we know the NBA does a good job selling games and selling these kind of events, so they'll do the exact same things that happen for playoffs. They'll have like the shirts and stuff, when you're like in the quarterfinal and stuff like that. But the biggest thing to me, like, and Woj said this, and I didn't even think about it. It's like, imagine like the championship game of that tournament at the top of the new year being the Lakers and the Mavericks. You know what I'm saying? And they're selling it as the old era versus the new era, LeBron versus Luka Doncic. And of course they're gonna boost it on ABC or something like that on Saturday and playoff atmosphere, the commercials, the pieces. Like, I think that'd be dope. I think that adds a little bit of spice to the regular season. And it's not you still get a taste of that, what people want, the best 16 teams tournament, best 16 teams in the playoffs rather than the East versus the West kind of thing. I think it's dope. It obviously, for my people who watch soccer or football, overseas, soccer, this follows that, because like you'll have the oh god, if I'm not saying right, I think it's the Gold Cup, or the whatever. There's like a billion cups that each team enters in throughout the season while they're playing their regular season games to go towards the Champions League and so on and so forth. Yeah. And I like that mold. I think that's dope because it gives you something to be excited for throughout the season. Another one of the proposals, the third proposal, would be a playoffs play-in tournament, which would happen in April. And we all know March and April is a joke when it comes to the NBA, because when you're a team that is well and in the playoffs, you sit all your best guys and rest up for the playoffs to come until the playoffs come. Or if you're a team that knows by that point there's no way you're going to the playoffs, you end up, faking injuries, you load management these guys, you play all your younger players because now you just want a better spot in the draft lottery. So what G-leaguers. Yeah, exactly. So what this tournament would be is the 9 and 10, if you're in 9th or 10th place, you would have a mini tournament against the 7th and 8th place towards the end of the month, where then you can play in to get into the playoffs. So how it would work, though, it's not like you could just steal the spot from the 7th place. 7th and 8th place both have 2 chances to stay in their spots, the 7th or 8th seed, and stay in the playoffs. The 9th and 10th place, you have to win both games to get in. If you lose one time, you're out. You're 9th seed, you're 10th seed, whatever, which I think is fine, because then it gives like the Kings, who work so hard, but they're still in the Western Conference, so there's no way they can get in, a better chance, because let's be real, the Kings were in 9th place, but they were a game behind the 8th seed. They were a game behind the 7th seed. So literally, if one loss had happened, they probably would have been in the playoffs last year and stuff like that. So it gives them a chance to then actually prove that they should be in the playoffs in a almost playoff atmosphere mini tournament to get into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of for that idea as well. It's a lot of information, Brandon, I know. So just I'm ready for any questions, chat. I'm coming back to you guys, chat, as well. I go ahead. Let it all be thought. Let all your thoughts be out.
If that tournament, say that tournament happens, where this, like you said, the 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th, they're all playing against each other, then what's the point of reseeding the playoffs? I know that was one of the proposals.
That's a separate idea. It wouldn't happen at the same time. So if you're reseeding the playoffs where it'd be 1 through 16, then there's probably going to be no play-in tournament at the end of the year. That's going to be gone. That's not going to happen because there would be no point. Those are two separate. Those are the three proposals. The first proposal is the 78 game season and the mid-season tournament. That's one proposal. The second proposal is the end of year play-in tournament for the 9th and 10th seeds, and then the third one is the 1 through 16 best teams in the league in the playoffs. And that one is not going to pass. I can tell you that right now.
They should just have the lottery. Just get rid of the lottery and just have like the NIT, where you have all the worst teams.
You know what? I'm upset that idea got lost in the sauce. That wasn't any of the proposals. I remember that was thrown around. That idea was thrown around last year when we were talking about this. Having a draft tournament rather than a lottery to play for the first overall pick. But it got lost in the sauce. I agree. I think that'd be dope. It'd be unfortunate because the Knicks would never get the first pick ever in their life. But I think
you
it would
never
be cool.
know. You never know,
Brandon. I know. Like think about it this way. Here's the reason. Here's the only flaw, because it's obviously, unless you do it like NIT tournament where it's like the 5 worst teams, like they play for them one pick, then that's fine. But if you're doing the whole lottery in an NIT, that's like the Thunder. The Thunder this year doesn't make as much sense as before, but like that's like we said, the Kings getting a chance to play for the first pick, or any of those Western Conference teams that are 9th, 10th place that were literally had the same record as the 8th or 7th seed to compete for the first pick, because they're gonna get the first pick every single time, most likely. That's my only problem with that.
And I was just going for a generalized, like I wasn't thinking bigger picture, but yeah, say they did that instead of just like, oh, you have the same percentage chance of getting the first pick, as 5 other teams, just because you guys all had really, really bad records.
Yeah,
I think that should be a rule change rather than some of these tournaments, because I think it was Delano says you're trying to devalue the Larry O'Brien, which I don't think is necessary.
I don't think so at all.
Right now,
that's up to the fan, though. I don't think it devalues Larry O'Brien at all, because that's just like I said with soccer, like the Champions League, like that is the tournament. But as a soccer fan or whatever, you're still excited to see your team playing in these other tournaments and getting these other accolades that are going on their shows and stuff like that, because they're the champions against like if they did something, I know it's not a thing, but like if we did something as simple as a conference championship where, it's the Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, Kings, and they have like their own little championship, and instead of just, depending on wins that you won that, you won the conference kind of thing. Like those kind of things, like it brings back rivalry almost, because that's the problem. And Delano, I saw what you said. It said don't change the format. The league works as it is already constructed. It doesn't, though. The league is not working how it's already constructed, because we're getting all this load management stuff, which I'm not completely against, but at the same time, I understand those who are against it, why they're against it. We're getting a lot of load management. We're getting people not watching games. Like not everyone's a Knicks fan. So, of course, us Knicks fans, regardless of how bad we are, we still watch the games day in and day out. But a lot of times, like, people are skipping games. Look at the attendance for a lot of these games. The same Nets, the Pelicans and stuff like that. The views are down. So, it's like it's not working, because the regular season doesn't really have any purpose to it anymore. Like, we get probably half of the season where players are playing, and then the other half, like, especially towards the end when, like, the Lakers are going to be good. We know AD and LeBron probably won't be playing in April if they're set and got the first overall seed. That's what's going to happen with that. Or the Knicks, we're going to probably be playing all of our worst players, which, of course, Knicks fans would be excited to see, but that won't be good for people who are going to the games and stuff like that, because we're trying to get the best chances we can get for draft pick, even though that doesn't work anymore. So I just feel like there does need to be a change for the regular season to have some sort of fire to it. Fortunately, I love my team where I'm going to watch every one of those games, but outside of that, like, I if I watch other games, it's for players. Like I watch the Pelicans because like I'm excited for Lonzo and I want to see Zion, but they're not there yet. if I see the Nuggets playing the Jazz, I don't want to watch them. The only time I ever watch the Jazz or the Nuggets are when they're in the playoffs. That's the only time I'll care about them. In regular season, I don't give a damn about them.
But that's happening year round, and I think part of that has to be responsible on the news outlets, like your Bleacher Reports, your TNTs, your ESPNs. Like, as much as I love Alex Caruso, I don't think he should be getting as much news as he gets.
Yeah.
When he dribbles the basketball, congrats for being a basketball player and dribbling the basketball.
It's over memed.
Yes, I get it. And it's funny. And I love it because I love Alex Caruso. I think he's a stud in his own way. But I don't think he's better than what Devin Booker has done this entire season. I don't think he's better than what Devontae Graham has done all season. Someone that fits in just his exact position. He's a backup point guard and is outplaying him essentially. Yeah, he's losing. He's not winning games, but he's playing pretty well for his team. Brogdon, another person we have. I don't think we've heard anything since he signed his deal this offseason.
Hooping.
Why haven't I heard anything about him?
He plays for the Pacers. There's nothing sexy or clickable about the Pacers.
You know, and I don't like that about today's journalism. It's just
that's his name. John Morant gets all the love, but RJ Barrett is playing better than him, has better stats. It's just across the board on a lot of things. But we're in the age where clicks are more important than the actual storyline. So that's what's unfortunate.
I would much rather it just be, all right, just feed so much information overload that at least you're throwing it out there instead of, I know what to expect. That does that make any sense?
No, I get what you're saying.
Like I'd rather be overflowing with information of this player did this player did that, this player had a star-studding career. Alex Caruso did this instead of just, what is it? Oh, it's 8:00. All right, time to throw out an Alex Caruso meme or Alex Caruso highlight play.
Let's do something Lakers. We gotta do something Lakers because that's what the people like.
Exactly.
And to go back to DOWNLAOD, the World Cup is not the equivalent of the NBA Finals. Because I see you're saying that we would have the Larry O'Brien played for every 4 years. No, that the World Cup is that's like our World Cup or the Olympics. That's the countries represent each other. Like I said, the Champions League happens once every year, just like the NBA Finals. It happens at the end of the season. Best teams play, and they get the champion. They get the cup, just like we get the Larry O'Brien. So I don't know where you're going with that.
I think you were saying over time, I think fans are gonna devalue the Larry O'Brien if we go with this tournament.
I don't think so.
Because
the playoffs are still gonna be. I get that, but like I said, with how the media is and with the pushing and with all the advertisings and stuff like that, no, the playoffs it's not gonna lose anything. There's no way it's gonna lose anything, especially with the amount of incentives, the parades, and all that. No, the Larry O'Brien's still gonna be the one to get. But yeah, see, I'm looking at the chat. People are fighting against it for everything, and then of course they're not liking the Alex Caruso stuff. Brandon, the king of cap, leave him alone. Everyone piggybacks everyone else's story. Yep, I would know firsthand because I work for the Fumble, and that's just how it works in that media. Luckily, I have a dope producer that every now and then when I host, I get to pick the stories, and that's the thing too. Like, and a lot of you guys rock with it. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent because I'm so against bloggers, and I can't stand them because I hate that fact how the headline is Bible compared to the actual guts of the story. You know what I'm saying? So me and Brandon, I'm talking about Brandon being one of the best sports talk dudes I know. But the headline is Brandon says Carmelo Anthony is a big body Kobe Bryant. That's the title. So that's all people are gonna hear. But in the thing, I explained why he said that, the comparison in eras and stuff like that, but that stuff gets lost. And that's the part I hate about bloggers. And that's the part I hate about some of this generation because people will read the headline and take it for Bible. But that's a story. That's a conversation for another podcast for sure, for another episode. But yeah, so looking at here, a lot of you guys are against any of the new rules. And I know change is scary. I get it. But I think, man, it would be so cool. I'm such an NBA junkie. Yeah, I love my Knicks till I die, bleed blue and orange, all that stuff. But I love incentives. I love everything. I still get excited about All-Star Weekend, even though I know how washed it is. But I still get excited about it because I'm seeing all of these superstars playing together on the same teams against each other. I know that they're not playing that hard against one another. You can say 2 years ago that was a difference and stuff like that. But just the fact that they're all in the same space, we're seeing we saw Kevin Knox representing the Knicks in the rookie challenge last year. We're most likely going to see RJ Barrett represent the Knicks. Like those kind of things excite me. I mean, unfortunately, we haven't had an All-Star in quite some time. Brandon can't relate because you got an All-Star every single year, even when they're not bad. They still had an All-Star.
I don't know what you're talking about. We last for 6 years, man.
Well, you even Kobe was still an All-Star. You probably had a 2-year gap, 3-year gap. Excuse me.
He was an All-Star.
He was an All-Star. You all were bad, but he was an All-Star.
He wasn't an All-Star, but he was an All-Star. If that makes any sense.
The point of the matter, what I'm saying is, it's just outside of the Knicks, and a lot of people, not just me, the love of the NBA regular season is being lost because everybody's just waiting for the playoffs. Because the conversation always comes up whenever you think about James Harden and how well he's playing. Everything, the rebuttal always comes to, but he can't do it in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I get that. I understand playoffs don't matter because you want the championship. But at the same time, we can't just pretend that what happens in the regular season does not matter, because that's not the case. A lot of these records, a lot of these stats, a lot of these things, when we talk about seasons that, Dr. J had, these seasons that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had, that's in the regular season. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the whole spice of the regular season is slowly depleting. And I think changes like these would add some sauce to the regular season. But again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what the owners vote. I know for damn sure that the 1 through 16 playoff format is not going to go through, because every single Eastern Conference owner is going to say hell no. And James Dolan will probably be the first one to say no on the list, because they know the only way that their team's getting to the playoffs is if we keep it the way it is, 1 through 8. So
stop being an ass. That's what we got to say about it.
Right. And it's true. It's facts. Like, I don't want it, because I feel like if we at least have a solid season with players, and I can start hoping for the 8th seed, because it's very possible in some situations. But if that's the case, I know damn well I ain't never making the playoffs, because it's gonna be what, 12 Western Conference teams, and then the rest Eastern Conference, the top 4 of the Eastern Conference.
You're not wrong.
I'm just saying, like, the Eastern Conference has probably our good teams are, on the top 5 of all the good teams in the league, but then that's all we got. Then the rest of the East just down there like a bunch of preschoolers compared to the rest of the NBA looking like they're in high school. But anyways, that's just my thoughts on it. What's your things? What's your final thoughts on any changes to the NBA?
I like the 1 through 16. I know you're opposed to it, but I've been saying that for years. Why not? Why don't we do this? I think Greg Popovich brought it up, and that's why I was like, me as like a 15-year-old, you know what? That's pretty smart. I like that idea, and I've stuck with it ever since I heard it. The tournament, again, I have to. I don't know. Like I think someone in the chat said I don't watch international play. I don't. To be honest, I wish I watched more soccer, but when they play, it's like 4:00 in the morning, and I'm not waking up at 4:00 in the morning. So, I just need to do some more research on it, and I think the play-in for the 7th and 8th, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's cool. I think it's if it were fine-tuned a little bit, because it sounds like baseball to me. I don't know if you know what baseball does.
Oh, the play-in? I don't know what baseball is. What's baseball?
Baseball playoffs, what they do?
No, I don't. What are you talking about?
They have the 2 wild card spots, and then the 2 wild cards play against each other on like a 1-game playoff. I believe that's how it works. Oh, and then they play off.
I don't know anything about that. If that's the thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll take your word on that one.
Yeah. So
Brandon doesn't watch the baby races. If you don't watch the baby races, then you're not.
I saw
you're not a real
I saw you. I saw your Instagram.
Baby
so
races are the best part of the NBA. I don't care what anyone says. I look forward to the baby races because this is just comedy, man.
better than the Knicks games.
Look, man, the baby race today was way better than our fourth quarter. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you what. There's a lot more baby racing on my story than anything about the Knicks. So that was that tell you? Baby races are great, man.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's see what the people have to say before we sign out. They just need to restructure the conferences. You can't because it's by region. Why would you restructure the conferences? That would make no sense. So how do you reward midseason winners? Do you give them a ring too? Yeah, but yes. Yeah, imagine being that team that sweeps the season. Like you win the midseason tournament and you win the NBA finals. Like that adds on to your bragging rights as well as your incentives. Like that would be dope. I mean, I can't even say it's not possible because it is possible. But then that gives hope, and then that not only hope, but that gives more incentive, not just financially for players and owners and stuff. That gives more incentives for the teams to be better, to not just get trashed at anything. Like every team can make that midseason tournament. Every team. Now, if you won't consistently lose a tournament like the Knicks probably would or the Wizards probably would, then that's on you. Like then you really are not trying to do anything about your team. But Brandon, and if they did do what you're saying, the 1-16 playoffs, then I would 100% want, even though I know the Knicks probably wouldn't do well in it, then I would 100% want the lottery tournament. I think that'd be dope.
Okay.
Have them coincide one another, because then I feel like then there can be a lot more competitive teams, and I feel like that will help balance the league. Even though, like, a lot of the bad teams won't be getting anybody good. But that, again, brings that puts more pressure on the GMs, and, it would start weeding out the GMs that are just skating or that, are so-so, but they're keeping a job because at least their team makes the playoffs in the 8th seed, even though they know they're not going to win anything. I feel like that would be a good way to recycle the good from the bad, owner-wise and GM-wise. But we'll see.
Also, with the tournament play, people are saying a bunch of veterans and players on that team are going to be playing for 18-year-olds. Hey, from what I've been told, and this is business 101, you got to spend some money to make some money. If you spend a little bit of money to pay these players and play in this little bit of incy innocent tournament,
but it's not even a little bit. Like the incentives are huge.
Yeah, make them huge. Then you get this all-star caliber player. You're supposed to get this, highly talented player. But it's I don't know. I think they would be more inclined to do it and want to do it.
Yeah.
Just because you're getting paid extra. So
right. CK peep what I said about the draft tournament. I saw what you said, and H said that players wouldn't want to play for the replacement. I 100% disagree with that. That's not a mindset of any player in the NBA. Nobody looks at it as a replacement. We hear Taj Gibson, like, he's our starting center, but he is well aware that Mitchell Robinson should be the one that's starting. So it's like nobody in the NBA looks at it like, I'm not gonna let this when they say it's brother, they really do look at it that way. Like I don't think anybody is gonna be like, nah, I'm not doing this because I don't want nobody taking my spot. I 100% disagree with that. That's like high school, middle school kind of stuff. I don't think that's how it would work in the NBA. Cough Mills coffee. Oh, about my weeding out the good ones and the bad ones. Do not get me started. Look, I'm back. My recording stuff is ready. The only reason why I didn't record no video this weekend is because I had nothing to say about the Knicks this weekend. I personally want to enjoy my 4-day weekend. I'll be talking everything. I'll be back this coming week. So that's the only reason why you didn't get no video this weekend. Especially if they're in a contract year, they also need a break. So having talent come in will help them. True. Very true, Niels. Brandon, Niels next door is loving the fact that, like, optimistic. I don't know if you've been hearing my rants, but Niels next door is loving how optimistic Chris is out the door when it comes to the Knicks. He's like, he's saying that I've been defeated. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm defeated. I'm a little upset. this is not the place. I purposely didn't put the Knicks on my list today because I didn't want to talk about the Knicks this week.
The new CK is great.
I'm tired. Anyways, Knicks for life. Everything else is garbage except Luka Legend and LeBron Goat James. Big facts. Whatever flows. And 2K Melo, before we sign up, I like what you said about this because this is definitely a narrative I can see being the case, but I also don't agree. But I do agree with this narrative because Brandon would be on the bandwagon for this. The ring would never mean anything for the midseason tournament. Melo would get that ring, and it wouldn't mean anything because he's Melo devaluing the tournament. That is definitely a narrative that would be out there, but I do believe that it all comes down to advertising and pushing it.
Melo could get all the acolytes, but the one that matters.
It's like, oh, that's cute. Melo won some mid-season tournament, but can't win the NBA championship. Like, I can't do that narrative, but whatever.
Can't do it.
Anyways, I want less NBA stat stuffing, especially on assists, because guys get assists they shouldn't be getting after 4 or 5 dribbles. LOL. Oh, yes. I do want them to modify that. I can't stand that. Like, you throw a ball to somebody, they dribble 56 times, they shoot the ball, you still get that assist. Like, nah. Like, I want those like crisp, Lonzo assists, those crisp Russell Westbrook where it's like a quick tap layup, quick tap jump shot. Like, yeah, give me those assists. 2 dribbles max. Just like your steps, you're supposed to get quote unquote 2 steps before it's called a travel. 2 steps or it's not an assist. That's what it is. Maybe 3 steps. Anyways,
I agree. Niels, you're my guy right now. 8 gold medals in the midseason. Yes.
It was good, Quinn. How you doing? But appreciate you guys. I think this is it. This is us. We back, man. I apologize for the wait. I'm done with you guys. I moved in, still rearranging stuff, but we're back on track. Videos coming back this week. I'm glad to be back on the podcast. I was looking forward to today's episode because I want to talk about that because that's something I'm excited about. I'm glad to hear you guys' opinions on it. But yeah, man, we out of here, man. Brandon, you got anything to say about your Lakers or anything?
I took a massive L this week, but I had some gumbo, so I don't care what happened this week, y'all. Melo could score 50 and add it to the 50-50 board. It's all good.
I'm looking forward to it. It is going to happen. I believe Melo will be one of our 50s in the 50-50 board. Lock it in. I am waiting for it to happen. The way that Dame is he's so for Melo being good, it's going to happen. It is going to happen. Dame's going to get a double-double, and Melo's going to have 50 points on our 50-50 board.
Till it happens.
I can't wait. We're going to have a Coast to Coast the next day. If it happens Monday, Coast to Coast on Tuesday. Matter of fact, if it happens Monday, Coast to Coast that night. Oh, yeah. Just talking about. Yes. But anyways, much love to you guys, man. We out of here. We'll catch you guys next week. Videos coming back this week. Brandon looks very defeated the way he's looking down. But I'm ready. We're not talking about the Knicks. Anyways, y'all be safe. Y'all, much love. We out of here.